What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get With The Brogram.
What's
It's your
good?
boys. And we got a very special episode for you guys today, right after the UFC 259 event, which was fucking crazy.
That shit was lit.
We're actually going to start from what we thought would be the best one to go at in a little bit, which is the one of Dober versus Makhachev, which was fucking retarded. That was just dumb. Makhachev was basically Khabib 2.0. Dropped this dude. He would not let him get up at any instance. It was just I don't like only watching a ground and pound, but it was so dominant that it made sense. It made sense.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
It was clean, but I mean, I feel like he has a bigger heart on for fucking grappling than even Khabib does, bro. Like he was on the floor the whole time.
I don't think he wanted to strike that much with Dober, but
I feel like
it worked.
The thing about grappling is a more technical portion of the sport, right? So while it isn't as fun to watch, right, you have to admire, right, the strategic portion of it, right, because you have to be extremely schooled in the idea of grappling to be. And by the way, that dude Dober was bigger than Islam.
Absolutely.
So he should technically have the advantage, but Islam is just so much more skilled.
Yeah, he just imposes fucking will on him, and it's just that when you have wrestling like that, it doesn't matter if the guy's stronger, it doesn't matter if the guy is whatever. If he's just getting tired, just trying to get off, and you're putting your entire weight on him, there's really nothing he can do. He's kind of fucked, and he did that. He applied that pressure, bro. It was literally like watching Khabib. It was like watching.
He even
Khabib
has the same
go
beard
work.
and everything. I feel like,
bro, they look like twins, bro.
These Dagestani. I mean, he got Khabib in the corner right there with him. Also telling him, you know, like when you got Khabib in your corner, you've also been training with him. These Dagestani wrestlers.
So you got to go with the look. It's like, listen, you can
beard.
only have that beard when you're going out there.
If your name ends with a V and you got that beard with no mustache,
do you think
if you want to be my student, you must go by all my ways. Okay, all my ways. You just see him bust out with the clippers. Like watch before last night, that guy had a glorious mane, and Khabib was like, nah.
Amish beard, nigga.
But it was like that fight was complete opposite. The guy that he was fighting is like, oh, this guy needs to grow a beard.
Yes.
Clean cut shave like
that
Chad looking
nigga
ass.
swole as fuck. He all the way to the chin. He had the crimson fucking chin, bro.
He looked like you had to fight your way through like a horde of frat boys to get to him. He's like the final frat boy boss.
Yeah,
that's what he looked like.
Yeah.
Well, the nigga at the end of the American Pie movie that's stopping you from smashing, and you gotta fight him.
And Makhachev took his fucking head off clean, bro.
Yo,
so
for real.
yeah. Now he's asking for a top guy, maybe even Tony Ferguson. I would love to see who is a top guy.
That'd be a dope fight.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of faith.
I would have loved to see
know.
it. And then of course
After Drew Dober, yo, dog, I wanted to talk about
Toby.
fucking Amanda Nunes, bro.
fuck yeah.
Grown
Yo, that fight
ass
was crazy.
Man. She's a grown ass man, and I think she could take out Terry Crews
Dog.
right now. Right
Bro,
now.
she could fucking do a hammer curl with Terry Crews.
We
man.
could make that happen. He just dresses as a white girl. A white chick. We get
White
it going.
chick? Well, yeah, we could get that. Terriana?
Is that White Chicks Part 2? Did we just discover that? It's Terry Crews' character with Amanda Nunes.
And she was still with, bro.
Get this Negro away from me.
Amanda Nunes just went in there like a bat out of hell, bro. This big ass girl, 6 feet tall looking. I was like, maybe. But at the same time, when you look at those odds, it was for a reason, bro. Amanda Nunes
No
doesn't fuck
disrespect,
around.
but that bitch she was fighting was straight off Animal Planet.
No,
was a
she
giraffe.
fucking was, bro.
No,
she's an Amazon.
Yo, my God, son.
But when you saw the weigh-in, they're both standing right in front of each other. She's looking
She's
up,
clearly
but
a
she's
bigger woman.
smiling. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
bitch, I'm
You
gonna
know,
beat this
Bro,
shit
I'm a
Yeah,
firm
I had no
believer that Crazy will be big every fucking time, and that proved it.
And she's crazy. Every
She
single
looks crazy.
You know what that fight really was, bro? That was the Beast Titan versus the Sergeant from Attack on Titan.
Bruh, Levi, dog.
Well,
get outta
Captain
here.
Levi,
Hell
Sergeant
yeah.
Levi versus the Beast
Dude,
Titan.
wasn't it like it was 40 seconds?
Yeah. It got
It was
clapped.
some
It- yeah,
fucking
it
crazy
was-
shit like that.
It was right off the bat. It didn't last more than 30 seconds, 40 seconds into the first round.
Wasn't ready for that Ackerman bloodline.
Bro.
I'm telling you.
But you know, you took this. When I saw that armbar, it was like that armbar. If you saw the fight of Oliveira versus Tony Ferguson, when Oliveira at the very end of the round, he got that armbar and he just pulled that shit back, and I thought he was gonna snap Tony's arm, man.
I remember that shit.
Motherfucker was just like, nope. Yeah, remember watching
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
As a matter
bro.
of fact, yeah, we did watch it again.
Nunez was taking her lunch money the entire
Disgusting.
match.
Fuck that shit about took her lunch money.
You know what's beautiful about it is that like, cause looking at it right off the bat, a natural assumption is that tall bitch is gonna fuck her up because she just can never get in there. This girl didn't give her a chance to even get her knee up for a kick, bro.
Yeah.
She just went in like she
Nothing.
just brutalized her.
Nothing.
I feel
But it
like
was
her
great.
opponent at the same time was exactly the opposite. We're gonna let you talk about Blachowicz and Adesanya later. Blachowicz is very agile, despite his size. But the girl she was fighting, right, Nunes, was extremely slow, you know, almost sloth-like in her responses. You know, she just got overwhelmed on the stand-up, taken down, and submitted.
She's what a typical big fighter
what
seems
you would
like.
expect.
Yeah.
What you would expect, you know? So,
but again, bro, Crazy's going to be big every fucking time.
So what the fuck are you going to do when you send, who are you going to look for to compete with Nunes? Because there's nobody left.
You got to send two. You got to send two people at this time. Right? Dog, who is out there right now? I mean, I don't know the competition like that, but who the hell?
If I'm number 2 in the division, I'm sending assassins.
Hey, in the words of, what was Joe Rogan saying? That's so...
Nah, Joe Rogan was basically saying that there's probably some lady out there, some girl out there training real hard today to hopefully one day basically go close.
Because he even said, there's no one right now that can challenge her.
I say
she's cleaned out the division.
I say we put a wig on John Jones, rename him Joanna, and send that nigga in there. See where it goes. I think this is what we're going to have to do. She's unstoppable. We have to send in John.
That's go talk.
Yeah. Like, I'm saying John
you got one go and then another go going at it.
I'm thinking John does at least. We put John in the same room with Charlie Sheen. Have him go out for a week. They do about a mountain of coke. Comes in. See where the fight goes.
I'm with it.
I think she's still winning. I'm not gonna lie.
Amanda
I'm still going.
The fourth round.
I'm still going.
By submission.
Like the only way I'll believe she'll lose is if I see her in Ip Man 5 and she loses to Ip Man himself.
Can you imagine Amanda Nunes knocking? Is this your king? Is this your king? Get those out the water.
Let's move on to a very, very, very controversial title win.
Jan versus Sterling.
Your counterpart over here,
my cousin,
Jermaine Sterling with a G.
He did what all Sterlings do. They fake it till they make it, baby. They fake it till they make it. My man caught one knee to the eye. He said, "Ow!"
Yo, that man pulled a whole like. You ever remember Shaquille O'Neal fake shit in the NBA? The overacting. I literally pulled that shit, bro.
What? Flopped.
But on the real though, like when you, bro, did you see afterwards when they interviewed him? He had a fucking bruise, like a big ass bruise, like bro. He fucked his ass.
He got knee.
It's an illegal knee. Jan shouldn't have done that. They gotta check it. They were saying something about his corner. Telling him to do it. We'll see what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You shouldn't be doing that shit. That's yeah. I understand the DQ, but don't say it was a close fight. So I would say it was a close fight. You were getting worked, dog. When you guys,
that's why he put his hand. It was like, bro, I know I lost, but technically I won this fight.
I lost, but I don't care. My next pitch is gonna be fat, bro. He's fat. I'll work.
Bro, when he slammed him down, he saw that fucking neck. I was like, bro. For a second, I was worried.
He's out.
I thought his neck was gonna come up like Anderson Silva's leg in that one kick.
Yeah,
right?
It's wobbly.
With the fucking wobbly neck. I thought that boy was gonna be dead.
That guy.
I was reading, right? So TJ Dillashaw actually tweeted about the fight, right? I wanted to read TJ Dillashaw's tweet because it made me laugh.
Damn, we could have pulled it up right here.
Channeling my TJ. And the Oscar goes to @Fake Master for Best Actor in a Title Fight. And Peter Yan needs a crash course in the rules of the sport he was once a champion in. Hey, Peter, now you're a cheater too, bitch.
Savage.
That's unnecessary toxicity.
That's a lot of salt, bro.
It's petty, but I respect it.
Especially to Peter. I don't feel like Peter deserves. I assume it was a mistake.
How do you respond? You can't respond to that. Like, what can you say? You got no integrity right now.
And to be fair, Peter Jan's from like Poland, isn't he?
Right. That would be Blachowicz. Peter Yan, I'm not sure.
He's not from America, right?
No, he's
so he definitely can't respond.
European
He doesn't
country.
speak the same language. That's fair. He needs a translator just to respond. That's fucked up.
What?
How you gonna insult some nigga that really can't understand you? He should at least have somebody
Peter
to explain
Yan,
the insult.
he's Russian.
So he can come back.
Nah, he's gonna respond with his fucking fist, bro. He's just gonna get ready, refight, and
He's
probably
gonna say,
take the
"I don't know what
title
the
again."
fuck you said, but I'm whooping that ass."
That's basically it. He's gonna come back. He's gonna win it again. He just can't do something as stupid as fuck as that.
Yo, for all we know, though, Sterling can come back and fuck him up, bro. This is literally the plot for a fucking Rocky movie, isn't there? Isn't there one where?
That's right.
Isn't there one where Rocky loses, but the way he lost, no, he's still our champion, but everyone knew he got his ass beat, so he had to fucking. Isn't it Mr. T? I think.
No, that was Apollo.
The one that I actually wanted to mention was Creed.
Wasn't that was the last Rocky movie?
No, Creed 2. I think he's right. I think of Creed. That's what it is. In Creed 2. That's literally the plot.
Fucking this dude Apollo Creed, Adonis Creed, right? He goes out to fight the
Ivan
Drago of Ivan Drago, right? And in the first fight, he gets hit in the fucking ribs, gets injured. He's losing the fight. Everybody knows it. And then he gets one illegal hit, gets knocked down, and the fight he gets disqualified. Ivan Drago's son, and it goes to Apollo, or rather Adonis. Later, he comes back and he wins. We'll have to see if Sterling can pull out.
Damn, now I kind of hope Sterling makes a comeback now. Now I kind of want to have it. That
would be really cool. That would basically just be like.
That would literally be the movie. It'd be the movie.
That'd be dope, but. Yeah, we'll see. It didn't look like that's going to be the case.
No,
He was getting worked.
Definitely what I learned from the fight is, sometimes taking knees to the face is the right move,
Yeah, but it's illegal in the UFC, strategy. So there you go. There's your belt.
I will say this. It definitely made the fucking fight exciting because up until that point, Sterling, I'm not going to lie, from an entertainment perspective, Sterling was boring the fuck out of me as a fighter.
He wasn't, no.
He was boring.
No, he was exciting.
He was exciting. He moved.
First, I saw him like he was on crack, and that threw me off.
I like that.
And then afterwards, half the time, I don't know. Again, it was strategic.
I like crack. I think crack is great. What's wrong with crack?
I just want to be clear. Get with the program does not condone crack.
We don't condone any crack.
Let's go on to the last fight.
Let's move on to
the main
the
event.
main fight.
Let's move on to the main event.
Blachowicz versus Arasana.
Yeah, that's right. People didn't believe me when I said that Blachowicz was just too much for Arasana. And there we go.
Daniel, look up the odds on that fight. What the odds were? I think it was 900.
No.
Adesanya was the favorite.
No.
Who was it?
900 was
Nunes?
that was Nunes' fight. Yeah, that you had to bet like 12 grand or like 1,200 in order to get $100. Like, it was stupid as fuck. But for Blachowicz, he was like positive 200 something. So yeah,
Adesanya was favored by Vegas.
Adesanya was favored because he's undefeated.
Yeah.
He's undefeated.
Adesanya was favored 230.
Yeah.
230. Okay. 2-1 odds.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I mean, when Joe Rogan asked Jan Blachowicz what do you think about Adesanya, he said exactly what I was thinking when I saw that fight, because I saw that he was just way that Blachowicz himself was way faster than I thought he'd be versus someone like Adesanya who's lightning fast.
No, exactly.
So he goes, I thought he was going to be a lot faster, but instead he was a bit slower. Mm-hmm. But as a matter of fact, I thought he was going to be weaker. He was way stronger than I thought he was going to be. So it was like the opposite. He cracked way harder, but he was slower.
Completely surprised me. I did not expect.
Yeah, exactly, for real.
He broke the rules of every fighting game.
Bro, it's
every fighting game goes like that. Ganondorf is not supposed to be able to move like Sonic.
It was like watching like the Hulk, but he was moving like John Wick. Like it made no fucking sense. But it's this big ass.
Basically Sephiroth, dog. He was big and fast.
And Adesanya, don't be wrong. He fucking. I'm not saying he didn't do a great job. He did a fantastic job. But you can tell he was not ready. He tried to come at it with the same style that he had in his previous division. And I think that's what screwed him because the other guy didn't take that same approach. The other guy, like, he's like, no, I got to get fast.
Blachowicz, bro.
And he went, bro, he was so fucking – they were both dodging the same shit. The same speed. They basically almost had the same speed, but this guy was stronger.
Yeah, that was almost what it was. And I love DC and I love Joe Rogan. But they were kind of annoying me in this particular fight. And I thought I was the only one until I saw the comment section after the whole fight was over and everybody's saying the same shit, that they were talking all this shit like Blachowicz was a bit slow and he was getting tired. And when he was, even at that time, and they were showing the scorecards, that he was actually outstriking Izzy. So they were just like, oh, Adesanya's
I don't feel like he was getting tired at all.
He was there. He was on it. Adesanya couldn't get the leg kicks like he normally did because Blachowicz was checking them.
I have a similar opinion to him. I feel like Adesanya, right? The history of his fights in his regular division that he normally fights in, he's used to being able to physically outdistance his opponents with his jab.
Much longer.
He's used to being the bigger one.
He's used to being the bigger one.
Now
he walked into a new ring, a new division with a much stronger, taller opponent that can match his speed. And he wasn't capable of overwhelming them the way he's normally used to. And I think that he's going to have to readjust, reevaluate, and come back to set a new aspect.
And like DC was saying, like I think it was like around the fourth round, he was talking about how Adesanya kept bobbing his head back, right, to try to avoid that crazy left hook. And he noticed, Blachowicz noticed. He kept noticing that every single time he would come in with that pressure, Adesanya would, of course, have to go back to avoid getting fucking worked. And that's when he took advantage. Really went for those takedowns, and it worked, especially in that fifth round.
Exactly, and that's where you really see the fact that that's where you really see what you're mentioning, that he's not used to this shift in dynamic because before he's always kicked and thrown punches like that, and you can always tell, like, if someone could just grab him, you can take him down right there because all his momentum's on the other side. But he was he's the one that can do it. Like, he's the only one that could actually have the power and the height to actually fucking pull it off.
Not even. I mean, Yoel Romero, he could have done it, but Yoel Romero has like a neck injury, so he didn't really try wrestling when he fought Izzy, so it was like a really boring fight. But guys like that, they would have been able to do it. The thing is, Izzy also, like I said, he has crazy takedown defense. Like I told you guys when we were watching, it's just
his technical ability is fantastic.
It's
he has
really,
fantastic
really good.
Ability.
And then, look, if you look at the beginning of the match, Blachowicz did actually try to take him down a couple times, but Izzy was just stuffing those takedowns. He just wasn't having it. And then, what did he do when Blachowicz tried to take him out? It was in the third round again. Tried another grapple. Izzy did that pop 1-2 that he did to Whitaker, except with Whitaker he got him 3 times.
I will say this I will say this about the style bender. You know, I'm used to him trying to showboat more than what he did in that fight. I feel like he came with a very serious stratagem.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Sterling, in fact, in his fight, he came in with the same attitude I expect a style bender to come into the fight with. Arrogant, reckless, and at a speed that he can maintain for the entirety of 5 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Stylebender did come in with a very measured response. I just feel like he needs to adjust a little bit.
Exactly. And to give him credit where credit's due, like he came in with the same way he's always fought, and that might have been a mistake, but he held on. Like he went toe to toe with this man.
He held
it
his
with the
ground.
decision.
And that's crazy. He didn't
versus
really
a guy like Jan Blachowicz, and you're fighting at a division that isn't even yours. You're underweight. The dude had at least 20 pounds on him.
That nigga's swole.
At least 20 fucking pounds on him.
They should come out with a gun called the Blachowicz. I'd buy that.
I'd buy it.
That shit should be a 40
Jan,
count.
if you ever see this for whatever crazy fucking reason, think about it.
what would that be?
Blachowicz.
Like a shotgun but with 4 barrels?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
If there's
4 barrels each one.
all girlfriends out there in the southern states, you know, maybe out sitting in the same room as the program, you know, maybe on a bed somewhere looking at their phone, not paying attention to what I'm saying, with curly hair Dominican. Hello? Buy your boyfriend the Blachowicz when it comes out, okay? Definitely.
For those who don't know what the fuck he's talking about, is because Jenny, my girlfriend's right here in the back. So
I wasn't referring to her.
You were no, he's not talking about you, bit.
No, the one behind you.
Buy me the Blachowicz. That kind of sounds like a
Give him a
sex drink. Yeah,
Blachowicz.
give him a Blachowicz.
Give him a Blachowicz.
Give me a Blachowicz. Hey, I'm saying it. I'm thinking
That's
about it. That's terrible.
Son, that's never going away. That's staying.
That's staying, bro.
Would you give you
Yo,
the
so-
Blachowicz?
yo,
Good
so-
God.
Yeah, it puts your lights out, bro. Once you're done.
Yo, so the
going
other
to
night,
sleep.
right? The other night, this girl's giving me a Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying?
It's like,
And so after that,
it's like, damn, you got a glizzy Glock? Bro, I got the Blachowicz, baby.
Yeah, that's going to end up on Urban Dictionary for sure.
Jan, I'm sorry, bro. So actually, I mean,
When
yeah,
they blow
you put
your
lights
back
out,
out.
bro. She call you Blachowicz. Nah, I mean,
Yo.
what the fuck were we even talking about?
That's
Nah.
trademark.
we
Write it
were.
down.
But
I'm
let's
writing that
Y'all
go
think you're
back.
being geniuses. We're being fucking stupid.
Let's go back to the point before we're disrespecting my man here. So yes, superb fighter, bro. I was so shocked that this guy was honestly going toe to toe with him the way he was.
Yeah, I mean, aside from leg kicks, he was outstriking Adesanya. He was outstriking Adesanya for the most part. I think round 2 it was that Adesanya clearly won. I'm like, yeah, Adesanya was, even though he wasn't landing as strong of the hits as Blachowicz, Israel was just landing more. But round 1 I had Jan, round 3 I had Jan, and definitely round 5 I had Jan, of course.
You got to give respect to Adesanya for having the gall to move up, you know, a division.
No fucks given.
take
And
on
so
a fight.
quick. He didn't even wait a
Tough bastard.
What was that? After he beat Costa, how long has it been? Just a couple months?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple months.
Like 3 months, 4
That
months?
turnaround is
That's
ridiculous.
stupid.
You know?
And not only that-
And he did, bro, and he lasted the whole 5 rounds with this man.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a close fucking fight for the most
But now we
part.
have to admit. We
But
have to admit
he
to
needs to work on
ourselves,
that, yeah.
right? The whole world wanted Adesanya to win.
Of
So we can see
course.
the John Jones Adesanya fight. We got to admit the John Jones
Hey,
fight
but-
is going to be John
hey,
Jones' favorite all
It's
the
just
way.
a pit stop. One quick pit stop.
And now you have two of the most legendary fighters of the UFC, like, and the most technical, like John
Yes.
Jones and Izzy fighting again. I want to see that fucking fight.
I wanna
bro.
see it, but
I don't
John
think
Jones is gonna
there's anybody
wax
in the world who's gonna, but after seeing that, yeah, it's like
a
watching a Blachowicz who is as technical as Adesanya. That's
Yeah.
how I would
Yeah.
see it.
But that's a fight
That's
that needs
t-
fans.
That's yes, absolutely.
That has to
Yeah.
way long term.
I would
Let's
say
make
that-
some noise, bro. Get that shit going.
Yeah,
Y'all
boy.
heard.
Yeah, but I mean, for that to happen though, Blachowicz would have to lose the title, and this man's looking good. He's looking like he's gonna be a fucking problem for everybody.
He got the works. He got the
He's-
work. I see him. I see
yeah.
him. You know, but all right. So speaking of sports, we're talking. Let's segue into the NFL, right? I want to talk about the Houston Texans. I want to talk about Houston in general. Houston's a fucking tire fire, right? I actually compiled a list. Right, I did some research. Right, here's a short list of things that are trying to leave Houston, or that have left Houston, or is trying. Right, Andre Johnson, James Harden, Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, George Springer, Jadeveon Clowney, the hope for a better day. Excuse me. All these fucking people have left fucking Houston in the past year and a half or so, right? Or is trying in the case of Deshaun Watson. Just the fucking city's a dumpster fire in terms of sports. If I was a fan, if I wasn't a Knicks fan, I would be damn near suicidal if I was a Houston fan.
What do you mean? You're also a Dolphins fan? You already suffered.
Nah, but he's not like a Dolphins
okay.
fan.
Yeah, I'm more of a Giants fan, but I do fuck with the Dolphins. My sports future is bleak. If the fans out there can see by my choices of favorite teams, it's not looking good for me over here.
It's like, you know what tough times looks like, bro.
We're not talking about me. We're talking about Houston. Let's keep it focused.
Right.
Be
So
brave.
I want to talk about J.J. Watt, right? J.J. Watt recently chose to leave the Texans, go to the Cardinals. They recently, before that, traded DeAndre Hopkins for a potato chip bag,
Laundry
fucking
machine.
nothing. They got fucking David Johnson back. David Johnson's a fucking running back that had one good season 5 years ago. Daniel, what do you think about the future of the Texans? Will they ever get an O-line? Will Deshaun Watson fucking die from the next sack he takes? Because I think his heart's going to explode.
Man, like, I can't monitor that situation, you know? And it's hard because when he wrote out, he's very big on loyalty, you know? You get rid of his number one wide receiver.
D-Hop,
And essentially you provide him with nothing. You know, this is your franchise quarterback, and now you're losing J.J. Watt, who when he got drafted was the main guy. You know, he was Mr. Golden Boy, like
staple.
He was the guy that you could look at and be, you know, the franchise player and all of that. And now he leaves, so now what's next?
That's true. I mean,
You know?
when Houston got hit up by that hurricane, and that huge hurricane flooded the city, J.J. Watt was a fantastic figure in the community. Came out, helped out
Right.
Houston with all. He did a foundation to get the people the supplies and the food that they needed. J.J. Watt was a staple point, right, for Houston and the people that needed him, right? And then you trade him away. That nigga was supposed to retire, a Hall of Fame dude.
Well, they released him.
Yeah, they decided to. They came to the agreement. J.J. Watt, we're not gonna keep. We're not gonna get you back, right? But I believe J.J. Watt. To be honest, I don't think he wanted to come back because at that point you had the owner Bob McNair. Bob McNair had that shit show. DeAndre Hopkins leaves. He had the shit show where he called the players inmates because they wanted to have like a more of a voice in the community.
The inmates running the South.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like a good majority of owners are like that, but he's the only one that's publicly
He's voicing
speaking
it,
like
you know?
that, bro.
Kind of like the old Clippers. Owner.
Donald Sterling,
Sterling,
yeah, bro. It's the same
Right,
thing.
So he broke a cardinal rule. You can be racist, just not out loud. That's against the rules. Okay.
You can think it, but you can't say it.
Exactly. All right. So J.J. Watt decides to leave, right, and he goes to the Cardinals. Now the Cardinals have Russell Wilson, same division, right? Am I tripping? It is Russell Wilson.
It's the
The Niners.
Seahawks, the Niners, and the Rams
Right.
in that same division.
That division is fucking stacked.
It's stacked as hell.
Fucking stacked.
But the Cardinals are a good team. Even though they had a mid-year last year, I think they have good pieces to be able to compete in that division.
It's that the Cardinals, if they're in the NFC East, the AFC East, they're the first or second best team, easily.
Right. They'll probably never be the number one team
In that division? No.
in that division,
You know?
but they can try to ride it out for a wild card.
Let me
you
ask you. I wasn't planning on talking about it, but since you brought up the Rams, what the fuck do you think of Matt Stafford?
I don't give a fuck about that move, honestly.
Yo,
it's like, okay.
I like that nigga Matty, boy.
You like the move?
I like
I don't
the
think
Matty.
I don't think it's a bad move. I know you hate Jared Goff.
I hate that bitch.
That motherfucker.
That nigga's lost me so
Lost
much
us so much
money.
money,
So much money. You know what? I'll tell you the specific game. He played the Dolphins. He played the Dolphins defense.
That was Tua's first game.
Yo,
I
and that was
believe.
Tua's first game.
That was the game where the defense stepped the fuck up,
and
man.
they collapsed.
Oh my god.
I think he had less yards in that game, right? I had more yards than him in that game. I had
You
fucking
had
more.
0.
Yeah. He had like
You had
negative
more.
10 yards. This dude was getting sacked every fucking play, destroyed, throwing intercept. He threw like 2 or 3 interceptions. He is Xavier Howard. That's the cornerback,
Right,
the DB
yeah.
that we have, right?
Yeah.
That DB got half of his interceptions from Jared Goff that game for the season,
And
That's
he
intense.
and he killed it that year.
He
This
did.
was his best year.
which
But-
I always saw it in you, Xavier. And I kind of knew that. I drafted you in my Madden game. I knew you had that talent. I saw you at a 73 overall. I'm like, we can develop. We can develop.
All right, but real quick about J.J. Watt going in the Cardinals. You wanted to talk about how it's not really looking for like continued success, but it's more, just being a desirable location, be
Right.
with your peers and all that.
I think it is because if you look at J.J. Watt, I think he was drafted by Detroit. If I'm not incorrect, I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. I think he was drafted by Detroit, snowy ass fucking place, right? And a franchise that's perpetually been bad. Yeah, look that up for me. Fact check me. And then he went to go play for the Houston Texans.
No. Well, no, I'm pretty sure he was drafted by Houston. Like, he's only played for Houston.
Yeah.
So unless he got traded draft night, I'm pretty sure he's only been.
Where the fuck
he
am
was.
I getting that from?
Stop it, keep going.
All right. So anyway, right. So in the case that he's only been drafted by Houston, right? He's been with an organization that's been perpetually dysfunctional, right? I feel like at this point in his life, right, he just wants a place that has solid pieces around it, right? Arizona's a beautiful place to play, right? I believe there's no state tax in Arizona. I think that does come into it.
That is nice.
Word.
Right?
Absolutely. Just like Florida, bro.
Just like Florida, baby.
Interesting.
Not like Cali.
So I think in the case of J.J. Watt, and I kind of wanted to talk about career choices in general, right? It's not always just about money, right? Because he had greater offers in different places. You know, he could have went to go play for the Packers, right? But the fucking Packers have a fucking snowy ass landscape constantly, right? No one wants to fucking play in Green Bay in the middle of December, you know. And then there's a lot of different choices. He could have went to Seattle. He could have went to a lot of places that needed.
So you're trying to say he chose quality of life over the organization?
I think he took into account, you know, because he's already an MVP level player. He's locked in for the Hall of Fame. He's made enough money in his life. He's thinking about his kids and his family, you know? And I think it's important as people to take that into account, right? Instead of always making it about the dollar amount that you can make when you want to move to this company or that company, et cetera, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I want to see what you guys thought about that in terms of evolution of people.
I mean, it just puts into perspective. Well, I mean, I guess he put into perspective what you said and made that decision, which is something that I would do as well. But you have to, and it's like I told my mom as well. She decided to not take a particular promotion because it would give her a lot more responsibility and a bit more money, and it's just something that she didn't enjoy. So she chose quality of life over just, you know, having to make a little bit more money that you're not going to get and enjoy. If you're worth so much money, how much more do you really need? What are you going to do with that extra money?
Exactly.
Versus
Exactly.
if you're in a really nice fucking place, like you said, it's not the same living in Miami and living in, you know, in Washington State and during December. It's going to be a whole lot nicer in Miami in a mansion than in a mansion somewhere up in fuck Egypt freezing. I choose quality.
Exactly.
And
at
it
a
makes
certain
perfect
point,
fucking sense.
yeah, and at a certain point, with all the time and energy he's put into his craft, and he's earned the right to be able to say, you know what, I'm just gonna be able to go. I'm going here just because I want to chill. I want to be able to fucking have great weather and just enjoy my time while, you know, still playing what I do.
To me, it's kind of a perfect situation because, like I said, or like you guys are saying, he's going to good quality of life, but he's going to a decent team.
Yeah, it's also
like Kyler
Murray.
Yeah. Kyler Murray can bowl. Definitely.
It's a win-win.
And he's playing with DeAndre Hopkins again. They're reunited. He even wrote it. He's like, yo, let's finish what we started.
D-Hop's one of my favorite receivers in the NFL. Boy.
He's a dog,
That
bro.
man's a beast.
That man's a dog.
Beast. What I basically want to say, right? Like, to be able to jump high, right? All men need good footing, right? In the professional world, the good footing that you are provided to jump high, that good footing is going to be the support system around you, right? This often comes up in sports in general. In the Houston Texans, the organization has been perpetually bad. The leadership has been non-existent, right? In the Cardinals, I like the coaching, right? I like Kyler Murray as a leadership role, right? And I like the direction the organization is trending upward. I would buy stock in the Arizona Cardinals right now, and I think J.J. Watt recognized that. He recognizes the weather. He recognizes the state as a whole and what it does for his finances, you know, and he sees what his family has to earn there, and he realizes that support system is going to help him to reach higher.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important.
It's the sound decision to make.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you're considering all those things, there could be, you know, underlying reasons. There could be a million other fucking things he's considering that we don't know about. Yeah. Maybe you could have a side piece on there. Who knows, bro? But it could be a million different things.
No, exactly.
Yes,
at the end of the day, you can't put a price on peace of mind. You know, weren't we talking about this? You're saying I think it's one of the franchise owners or some shit that's like this racist asshole no one wants to really fucking work with.
Bob McNair?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking of.
Bob McNair, which is the owner. He's leaving.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so, I mean, you can't.
Looks like a lot of positive reasons.
No, leaving Houston is like you have to leave Houston. Like, don't be in that toxic ass situation. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And then anywhere from there, like he's going to a good situation.
It's sad as a Texans fan, brother, because you know you've had such all-star pieces.
You were
DeAndre,
right there
JJ,
from the Super Bowl.
You were literally 24 up on the Chiefs, and then you blew a 24-0 lead. and got smacked up by the Chiefs, blown out. It was like 48 to like 24.
Well, I mean, when people aren't willing to change their, narrow-minded perspective on things, other people want to fucking leave.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll switch up some of the leadership positions in that company, in that organization.
We're calling out a lot of people in this episode, by the way.
We pissed off. Who the fuck are these idiots?
We pissed off everybody.
I think, in fairness, though, Bob McNair, I think it's reasonable to say he hasn't been successful. Right?
I mean, I just want to say
we don't need to call him out. That's self-evident.
Damn, but you also think Jameis Winston's a bitch?
Well, it's
he's
not that
he's not a bitch.
Damn.
He's a scumbag, bro, and he's a bum.
There are so many FSU people right now who are losing their mind.
I know.
How dare
That's
you?
why I want to say it.
Yeah.
It's sad that those FSU people, that the best thing they have to fucking hang their hang on is Jameis Winston.
Well, he did give him a title, so they have that to hold on
back-to-back?
to. No, so they won the title in 2013, and then the year after they went into the playoffs, and then they lost.
Was that
But-
against the fucking what is
Oregon?
Ducks? Oh,
Yeah.
I remember
I forgot who it was. One of our
Patrick.
said, quack bitch.
Yeah.
It was you actually.
Yeah,
it was you.
yeah.
Yeah, Patrick was so angry, dog. That was funny. I remember.
Fucking, Jameis Winston, he's gone to go. I think it says a lot. We saw him for so many years in Tampa, right? Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. He had him for a season, I believe, or two. He had a fantastic defense with Shaquille Barrett, and he wasn't able to do much with it. I think he ended like maybe mediocre 8-7, some shit like that, 8-8. Tom Brady goes there, immediate Super Bowl.
No, but look who you're comparing.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, come on, bro.
Bro,
Apples and oranges, homie.
you get Jameis Winston was given all-star players on offense, all-star players on defense, and couldn't even
It's
make
not
playoffs.
the same team.
I'm not saying he should have went to the Super Bowl, but he didn't make playoffs. He didn't win the division. I mean, and then he gets taken by the Saints. Drew Brees. Drew Brees gets injured. Jameis Winston gets the exact chance he wanted to take the reins for the team. He gets passed over by the coach Sean Payton for Hill, right? For the quarterback Hill. That says a lot to me. A lot of people say things with their words, right? I look at their actions. The coach told me by his actions everything I needed to hear. Clearly, Jameis Winston is not an NFL quarterback to me. He backup caliber maybe, but he's not.
That's what he is. He could be a solid backup.
Yeah, but he's not a main cast.
I don't know what's a
position.
good situation for someone like him, bro. You said he's linked to the Bears.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Chicago, bro. They've been trying to get a quarterback for years,
saying
and it's
that.
like, oh my God, now we're gonna get Jameis Winston.
Jay Cutler or Jameis Winston?
Jay Cutler. Come on, man. Sling that
No
motherfucker.
hesitation, bro. You saw that?
Sling
Jay
that-
Cutler?
fucking-
I would think about it.
Listen, that man played for my Dolphins, bro, and I know
For like a season.
I know pain. I know pain, but at least that man can sling it.
I guess, bro. He's got
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, though. If he comes up with 40
Dog,
touchdowns,
I am not taking anybody. Licks his fucking fingers, just throws up a
Oh
W
my
as
God.
motivation.
That's pretty specific, but all right.
can we put that clip into that? Because there's a clip of Jameis. I love that clip of Jameis Winston giving a speech to his players. Right, he's trying to hype them up before the game. It's like, "Hey guys, you know what's up today? We're gonna catch a W. We're gonna eat this W." And then he literally starts
whack.
eating like the W, right? And then you see like the
Cringy as
DN
fuck.
like in the background, like with the white ass eyes, like.
After I say one thing, I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to Coin after I say one thing. Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight? Coin? Come in. That's all I want.
It's like
This dude's fucking
this is
lost.
this is my quarterback that I have to play with this guy right now.
I honestly thought he was on drugs, to be honest.
Eat
I thought he
this
was on
W.
coke. I thought he was coked the fuck out. Jameis Winston is fucking hilarious, but that nigga has no pull at all in terms of like legitimacy.
Jameis
in my
Winston's
end.
getting too much time on a pod, bro.
Yeah.
He ain't even done
yeah.
anything.
Let's get out Jameis Winston, but to Jameis Winston is actually a good segue. Rush Limbaugh, right? So here are some of the more interesting things about Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh recently passed away. R.I.P. He was a human being.
R.I.P.
right?
Rest in peace.
But the dude, excuse me.
Huh?
He didn't stutter.
Yeah, he didn't. That's
The
fine.
dude was a douchebag while he was alive, right? I'm not gonna lie. He not everything he did was all about kitties and rainbows. I'm not gonna lie. So I compiled a list of some of the more interesting things I found on the internet about things he said. In 1988, he coined the term feminazi. Right? I
I
actually
like
didn't know
that
that.
one, though. That one's really fucking funny because it's used.
Feminazi.
Feminazi.
That shit-
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's used against the crazy.
Did you know that he made that
I
up?
didn't know he made that though.
He made that up.
I didn't know.
Okay,
he made
that
but
that's
a
less
funny one.
that's less asshole, more creative. That's
That is
creative
really
as
good.
fuck.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'll
Okay, fine,
tattoo
go.
that into
It's
my
all-
arm.
It's all, guys. Why are you all
Yo,
fans? All of a sudden, I've been abandoned by my friends.
Chris, have you never met a feminazi dog? Don't tell me you haven't. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
You know what
yes,
we're
but
talking
in
about.
this case,
You
he
know
was
what, if
talking
he-
about women
If he coined it,
protesting for like abortion and shit. It was not like really.
let's not assume.
Let's not assume. He probably met some feminazis, dog.
Y'all- yeah.
If you gave him that name, he knew what he was talking about. All right,
Ladies,
go,
I've lost
continue.
control of Get With The Program. Send help.
What's next?
Hold on. Why are you stealing my notes? Goddamn. Anyway, so that was the first thing, right? And then here's it. Rush said that McNabb. Oh, this was when he was a sportscaster. We were talking about this earlier. So Rush said that Donovan McNabb. Right. Rush said that Donovan McNabb. He was talented. No, rather that society thought he was talented because they desperately wanted to see a black quarterback be talented, right? And they were crediting him with credit that was actually due to the team as a whole, and it wasn't really for him, right? And then, as you said earlier, he was fucking kicked off ESPN for that shit.
He was there a couple weeks.
Yeah, like a couple weeks,
Bro.
bro.
I don't know, man.
So that means like his racism must have been like on an 8 because Sterling, the leader? Not the leader. The owner of this fucking Donald Sterling
The Clippers.
of the Clippers, right? Even this nigga, they had to think about removing him.
Yeah, for a
And
while.
this nigga got caught
You had to
saying
say
like
yeah.
a lot. So
You can be around them when I'm there, but you can't hang out with them. You can't be friends with them.
Because he was talking about Magic Johnson.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, man, dude."
What? Damn,
So-
dog.
Wasn't it about posting something? Wasn't
Yeah,
it
I
literally?
think so. I think so. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that. It was like,
hang
You
out with them,
can't post
yeah,
it.
you
It was
can't
literally
post
like you
about
can
it.
hang out with them,
My-
you can drink with them,
My
but you
racist
can't
friends
post
can't
it.
know that you're friends with them.
Yeah,
like
literally,
that
I
type of
remember that.
shit.
I remember.
Can you
I
believe
think I
that
really,
shit,
like, do
bro?
quick though,
Closet
yeah.
racist,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
How can you own a whole team, literally filled with black people that make
That's
you
what
so
I'm
much
saying,
money,
bro.
you know, and still be that fucking
Yo,
racist, bro?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
That's why they banned his ass when they could.
Mm-hmm. So they threw Rush Limbaugh off, and it's shocking to me that Rush Limbaugh couldn't tone it down enough for sports media in like 1993, you know, whatever time it was, because back then you could get away with a lot more than you could today.
He be wrecked.
Yo, so I'm gonna read the next one. The next one's brutal. So apparently, back when he was a radio personality, right? He would give update on AIDS, like the statistics and who's dying and whatnot. But what he would do was
Monthly
he would say
update,
the
yeah.
names of people that died, and he would add comedy sounds when he would read the fucking names.
He like a mixer and there's just
Like he would like
fake laughing.
like I feel like but what,
And it's his laughing.
Yeah.
like I feel like he would say stereotypically racist names and then like say they died and then hit like a button like wah 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 or some stupid shit like that.
It's like,
we gotta find something like that.
Because back at the time,
Damn,
right?
there has to be somewhere on the internet. We gotta find that.
It was the act of protest concerning racism, right? Or not racism, wow. The AIDS epidemic, right?
Right, yeah.
And of course it was impacting the gay community heavily, right? So Rush Limbaugh being the complete asshole that he fucking was, right? He fucking reads out all the names of the people that month that had died of AIDS, you know, that he knew of, and played those comedy sounds, the pom 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 shit, and then made derogatory comedies about the gay community in general. So the dude was a bigot, right? My favorite one though was number 4, right? So in 2011, right, the president of China, I believe his name is Hu Jintao, all right?
Okay.
Hu Jintao comes out with a speech, and then I wrote it down. Rush Limbaugh comes out with his translation for the speech and went, Tung Chung Ching, Tung Chao, Chung Ching 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 Chong, Chung Ching, excuse me, that's a chow, Ching Chao Ching Chong.
You're lying.
My nigga's out of pocket.
Yeah, when he said
With the
ching
ra-
ching chong, oh, that's when I lost.
It's the ching for me.
What
It's
about
the
the
chow
chong?
for me. Bro, this
Yeah, that's
nigga's
fucked.
so out of pocket. I can't believe what drives me crazy, right? There are these his fan base refer to themselves as the Ditto Heads, right? He has a very loyal fan base, and they just rationalize all his shit as, he's just kidding. He's just being himself, you know? Not afraid to go there, you know? Heavily conservative, far-right, controversial personality. And I can't help but think, you know, he's been in this business since the 80s and 90s, you know? A lot of the far-right extremism that happens in this country, I think Rush Limbaugh is a very big perspective or portion of that culture,
I mean, everybody has a role to play in their extremist agendas, left and right. So yeah, he could have been absolutely. I don't really do so much research on
because he
on
was
these older politicians anymore. But yeah.
Rush Limbaugh was often shown on Fox News to show his extremist because he got clicks. He got clicks because what he did was he used shock and awe as a selling point. You know what I mean? And he
kind of like what the media does right now,
radio.
all the time, man.
All
the time.
Extremism sells.
Absolutely.
In this case,
Chaos
it was extremism to the far right. But what that did was it created a lot of damaging ripple effects in our society. I really do. I do believe that.
But I mean, anytime somebody who gains enough amount of popularity is just spewing division in any direction, right? All you're doing is making the situation worse. Even if you feel like it is true, like for instance, if you're saying that you've encountered a lot of racism from, for instance, white people or whoever, to then be racist towards those people or to say derogatory things simply because of their race or their nationality, you are now then doing what you're saying that you're
spreading
against.
the cycle.
You're just making it worse.
Yeah.
When for all you know, that person was thinking the same way as you, like, yo, I can't stand all these racist fucking people that I did. So
me and Andres, right?
We
recently watched this movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. If you there in the audience have not seen it, it is a phenomenal.
Have you listened to the soundtrack?
I haven't listened to the soundtrack, but I assume it was part of the movie, so I probably did.
You probably did.
Right.
That's how it works.
But so Judas and the Black Messiah was basically a movie. It's almost like a docuseries about the Black Panther Chicago chapter in like the 1980s, right, 1970s perhaps. And it's about Fred Hampton, a real character, a real person who was the chairman at the time. And it's about the FBI and how they orchestrated the dissemination, disassemblement, and the infiltration of the Black Panther Party. They showed chaos and discord within the organization and eventually assassinated Fred Hampton. This is all substantiated by documents by the American government. It's all factual. And the federal government settled for the mother of Fred Hampton and another person for like $2 million in like, I want to say the early 2000s, right? That type of shit is, J. Edgar Hoover and that racist motherfucker who was head of the FBI. That type of shit is exactly what I'm talking about. Words, what was it in Game of Thrones that the scholar said? Words of war often become acts of war, Rush Limbaugh, J. Edgar Hoover. At what point does freedom of speech, which is an important American right? At what point should freedom of speech be limited because of the damage it does to the fabric of our society?
The problem is that who becomes the arbiter of all of that?
True.
Facebook and Twitter. We've seen how that goes.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be you can't expect people in power to be partisan or to be bipartisan, right? Or nonpartisan rather. They're always going to be partisan. They're always going to have one particular
because of the human element.
And not just that. There's always going to be one side who's going to give you more advantages than the other. One side who's willing to look a little bit past a couple other things, right? You're going to do a couple of things that are completely illegal. That's all right because we're buddy-buddy. That works on every end of the aisle. So when you have something like the biggest platforms that we use for communicating in today's world, right? Facebook, Twitter, anything social media. When you have them, like what they did with Trump and what they do with other people, when you have them suppressing information and then other people can't see it, then you also just allow for other people to just manipulate, say, well, what they're trying to say is this, and then it's just going to be
manipulate the narrative.
You can manipulate the narrative entirely. So let people say whatever stupid shit they're going to say so they can be held accountable is how I should feel and brought to life.
That segues perfectly into Eminem, right?
Which people... all these years, bro. All these fucking years that we know Eminem, who he is, the type of shit. He's made songs about cutting off this bitch's throat.
Yeah.
Right? Is it like that? No, fuck slitting her throat, cut this bitch's head off. Come on. That isn't going to do it for you, but...
In his Cannabis diss, he fucking...
Cannabis?
In Cannabis, he literally talked about running over Jermaine Dupri and dragging him under the car for like 1,000 miles.
Yeah, I love that song. I mean, like, yeah, he has... and it's rap. You have allusions to violence, allusions to drugs... rape, murder, you name it, it happens all over. Same thing can be said for rock, you know what I mean? Allusions to all kinds of shit. But I feel like, so basically the story, right? Danny, you explain it since I know you were reading it earlier, right?
So basically, Eminem, we got all these TikTokers trying to cancel him.
Jenny, those are your people. Those
Are
your people.
Jenny, you started this.
These are your people. Control your people, man.
So the TikTokers are trying to cancel Eminem for his line on "Love the Way You Lie."
Exactly.
For basically saying, "I'm gonna set this girl on fire."
Yeah. I'll tie her to the bed.
Tie her up and set the house on fire.
Right.
Which, to be fair, isn't even the worst shit he's ever said. Like,
not even close.
That's like close. From an Eminem level of 1 to 10, that's a 4. So you guys could have done better. You could have done your research. And
what's that song?
I'm not gonna lie. That's not even what bugs me. What bugs me about that is like the whole point of the song is a toxic relationship.
Exactly.
That's the entire premise of
But the metaphor doesn't make sense to cancel culture. They emotions and dress emotions.
You know what it is? What bothers me, and it's exactly what Andres said. You know, what bothers me is, imagine me as a person. I walk into, I go to my manager at work, and I'm like, oh, this dude called me a right? You didn't hear what I said. You heard me say the word The person next to me goes, he said the N-word, and I get thrown out. Eminem is literally talking about toxic relationships, and it's actually a story warning you not to get into toxic relationships because it harms you emotionally and makes you crazy.
Yo, I know this is a bit of a tangent, but you just reminded me. You know that actual thing happened to me you just said? It was with the middle finger. It wasn't with that word. Like, I was in 2nd grade, and I did not know what the middle finger was. And one kid one day does that to me, and I'm like, okay. And everyone's like, oh, ooh, losing their mind. And I'm like, what does that mean? So I did this, and then someone's like, look, he's doing it. I'm like, what am I doing? It's just a finger. And the teacher was like, can you stop doing that? I'm like, but it's just a finger. Look, what does it mean? No, and then she's like, going to the principal, and I start crying. I'm like, I'm in trouble. Why? What did I do? It's just a finger. What does it mean? And then I get home, and I get to the principal's office. And I asked him the same thing. I'm like, what is it so
what is his power?
But everyone thinks I'm just playing dumb.
He's just like, oh shit, what have I unlocked?
I get fucking home that night, and then after like an hour, my parents finally believe me when I said, I don't know. You didn't teach it to me. How the fuck would I know what this is? How the fuck would I know this?
Pandora's box. You've opened.
It's funny because you reminded me.
That's these people are just. The message just goes right over their fucking heads, bro. Right over their fucking heads.
Listen to the context.
They can't read Shakespeare. If they read Shakespeare, they're gonna cancel.
They don't care about context. They care
don't,
about starting a trend.
Exactly.
You know,
it's so dumb.
Like,
there's
do
logic.
you think they actually are sitting here like? They're sitting there like thinking, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. No, they don't go, fuck. They don't know he said worse shit. They're just, again, they're trying to start some shit like he's saying. It's really just them trying to
cloud chasing
start up shit, bro.
Yeah, they're cloud
like
chasing.
Same thing with that fucking TikToker that fucking started that Kanye West, Jeffree Star bullshit.
Oh, that was a TikToker too?
Yeah, it was TikToker.
Damn, TikTok needs to be canceled.
It's just clout. That's all it is.
Donald Trump should have eliminated it when he had the chance. I don't know what happened there, but
he tried. he definitely tried.
That's the one thing I actually believe him on. You know, and I do agree that Eminem's definitely made a whole bunch of songs. You know, what I think has created Eminem's rocket to grandeur, you know, in his career.
Aside from his crazy lyrics?
I think it is part of it. Part of it is, it's not just that they're crazy. It's that he means them, right? And they come from a place of experience, you know. He's really rapping about his own life experiences.
And there's a lot
Some of them are good.
Yeah, and some the way he crafts those words together, bro.
That's the thing.
Even his crazy,
they're authentic
songs. They were.
The thing is, they're not understanding that he, at the end of the day, he's writing down his stories and his thoughts, and they happen to be bangers. I don't think he's trying to make them a banger. These are just personal thoughts. You don't have to fucking listen to them.
You know what's ironic? History repeats itself continuously.
Because we don't learn from it.
Gen Z is currently trying to cancel Eminem, right, for writing these lyrics, right? Music is a metaphor. We know this by now. We should, right? It's a metaphor for reality.
We saw it in the 90s.
Art imitates reality. In the movie NWA, right?
Perfect.
The rap group starts writing songs about the ghetto, and everybody tries to have NWA canceled, right? They're like, oh, it's teaching about drugs. They're teaching about... We're simply rapping about reality.
Exactly.
It was just their reality.
Exactly. And in Eminem's case, he's rapping about the emotional traumas that he's fucking been through, but he's not doing it in a pretty way. He's doing it in a very real, gritty way.
And that's a reality.
These are real, shitty situations that are fucking terrible to be in.
And he would always bring up these stupid fucking holier than thou parents that would love to pat themselves in the back and just say, well, you're the reason my child is this or that. Listen, bro. I listen to the same damn shit. My parents raised me how they raised me.
You're bad parenting.
Eminem would always say, listen, it's not my fault that you can't raise your fucking kids, you know. He has a daughter, you know. He has children that he raised. They seem fucking fine, bro. To this day, they seem fine, bro. And I don't understand why people are always putting blame onto others when your
Exactly.
responsibility as a parent is to teach your kid from right and wrong. not
Society
music.
has a
Exactly,
series of versions.
and not only that, bro. At a certain age, for example, if you're in high school or maybe even middle school, it doesn't Eminem. Like to some degree, I don't see the harm in some of these songs because again, they're real situations. I don't do my child any favors by putting a fucking blindfold over him and not facing the real world, all these emotional shits,
Then it's gonna
all
hit him
these
like a brick
obstacles.
wall. Yeah.
Exactly.
Society
Just
has
because he doesn't use pretty words while doing it, it's a fucking problem.
Society has a serious aversion when it comes to accountability. Right?
Thank you.
Accountability is something that we completely lost.
People lack that.
Everybody
entire-
wants to
yeah.
point the finger.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to point.
Because it's easier.
It's Eminem's
Much
fault.
easier.
He made the song. It's not the fault of whatever society, whatever aspect of it created the reality where some people are poor, some people have to resort to crime, some people are put into situations where they put into gangs, etc.
Poor education. It goes down a long list.
And also, by the way, this is a little backtracking a bit, but they're sitting here trying to fucking cast for a stone, saying that this guy is promoting domestic violence. Now, mind you, I'm not saying trap promotes domestic violence, but no one's trying to fucking do this shit to trap music. And trap music isn't exactly enlightening music
because nobody understands what they're saying in trap music.
Because trap slaps. This is all beats, man.
Trap slaps.
Trap
Some
slaps.
songs do.
Hold on, George, do that
Some
again. I
songs
think
do.
that shit was hard.
Yeah, you like that, Daddy? Just drop a beat. Go.
Actually, that was kind of hard. You
Every
heard
single
that?
time, bro. Every song's the same.
I think I like that.
Shut up, dog. No, you don't.
Yo, maybe you got it all wrong. Yo, the program's not a podcast. It's a rap group.
Programs with attitude.
And on that note, I think that is the end of the podcast, sir.